This week on Golf Destination, we visit Killington, Vermont and the magnificent Green Mountain National Golf Course. Carved out of the Green Mountains, Green Mountain National Golf Course will test your game and your course management skills. Plus, we'll meet acclaimed golf writer Jim McCabe. All of that and more, next. Welcome to Golf Destination. I'm your host, Meredith Gorman, coming to you from the sociable DJI Communications Studios just outside of Boston. Vermont has long been considered a great skiing destination. And it is, but you can enjoy the outdoors 12 months a year, and there's no better place than one of the best public courses in New England. Let's learn more about the Green Mountain National Golf Course.
So we're in central Vermont, right in the Killington area. For those that don't know, it's about 3 hours from Boston, 4 hours from New York City. We're owned by the town of Killington. We're actually the only municipal golf course in the state of Vermont. There are other public golf courses here, but we're owned by the town. Golf course was finished and opened in 1996, and the main purpose was to bring in people to the area of Killington in the summertime. As most folks know, if you do any snow skiing or snowboarding, that Killington's a pretty popular place in the wintertime. The town wanted to sort of drive some of the summer business to help support the locals that are here all year round. Green Mountain National is a golf course that's set in the Green Mountains of Vermont. So you can expect to see not a lot of elevation change, but some elevation change. It's like nestled in the valleys, if you like. It's an 18-hole championship golf course. The front nine plays a little longer than the back nine. It's a championship golf course. It plays just over 6,500 yards, and the views and the vistas you get here throughout the summer season are fantastic. To play your best at Green Mountain National, you really need to keep the ball in play. As I tell people, you got to hit it to where you can see it. If you lose sight of the golf ball here, trying to take on a dogleg or something similar, chances are you won't see that golf ball again. So the straighter hitters are certainly going to outscore the longer hitters. And then the greens here at Green Mountain National are quite undulating. They're not excessively big, but they're certainly challenged. And we don't get them really fast because of the undulation change. So we try to keep it as fair as we can for most players. When people do play here and people ask, what are the secrets? It's pretty much, keep the ball in play, take a less club off the tee, hit something where you can see that ball land. That's going to give you the best option to score here, because the trees here at Green Mountain are pretty close to the sides of the fairways. That gives the impression that the fairways are narrow, but they're actually not. They are generous landing areas, and most folks sort of psych themselves out a little bit when they stand on the first hole and see these beautiful trees. But keep the ball in play, take a club or two less off the tee, and you're going to find your golf ball, and you're going to be able to play it into the greens. So one of the things that's really cool here at Green Mountain is that we do have that 5-tee setup, and that gives people a lot of choice when you're playing here. So we go all the way back to a little over 6,500 yards, all the way forward to our most forward tees. I tell people that think of 6,500 yards here as like 7,200 yards somewhere else, and do your math accordingly when picking out a tee. 90% of our men players here will play off the white tees, and most of the women will either play off the reds or the yellow tees. The front nine is right there in front of you, as I tell people. Apart from hole number 2, which is a blind tee shot, it's really the only blind tee shot on the property. And then other than that, you can almost see most of the greens from the teeing ground on the front nine. It's a little flatter in orientation, although there is some elevation change. And when you get to the back nine, the holes themselves show pretty flat, but still undulating surfaces, certainly with challenge, and you'll see a lot of undulation and elevation change between holes on the back nine. And we have three substantial dog legs that play on the back nine: hole number 12, hole number 14, and hole number 15. So that in itself is a different characteristic for sure. The green complexes here at Green Mountain aren't necessarily big. In terms of what you would think traditionally. Most greens will tend to run back to front a little more than they would left to right. But a lot of the characteristics of our greens here will be shallower in depth, but certainly a lot wider. And that gives us variety in pin position from left to right. May not necessarily be from front to back. which is a little different aspect. And they're definitely sectionalized, where if you hit the ball in the right section, you'll get yourself a pretty flat putt and, you know, a chance of making it. So that's a really good, you know, way to describe these greens there. And they sit at you at different angles because of that. So it's not just a round green sitting right in front of you. You may have an elevated or a slightly angled green, which adds to the challenge. We have a pretty cool, substantial driving range facility here. We have our own local teaching professional who's here and available. We also have a partnership with a company called Bird Golf Academy, and they lease out the facility and bring in their coaches, and we've had folks come from all over the world for golf schools here. So that's a great something to have here at Green Mountain National, and certainly for central Vermont, it's not something that's very common at all. Green Mountain National has set up a business plan based on the person that comes here, and the person that comes here is from outside a 3 or a 4 hour driving distance. So it's a destination resort. In the 5 years I've been here, we have reduced our outing business so that our first tee is available for these folks. What we've found is it's increased our Thursday and Friday business, where we may traditionally have an outing. We're now allowing these folks to come and play, and that bleeds itself into the weekend. So we were seeing maybe a 1 or a 2 day visit, now we're seeing a 3 and a 4 day visit. And that's the bulk of our business, is to have that, call it that free and independent traveler, drive to Vermont, find somewhere to stay and come play Green Mountain National.
Now let's meet Terry Manley, who has been working at Green Mountain National Golf Course since 2001.
Green Mountain National was founded in 1995. It opened in 1996. I've been here 21 years. I deal with the public as a starter and a ranger. In the 21 years I've been here, I've never had one person tell me they didn't like the course. They did tell me they didn't like their score, but that's kind of the way it goes with golf. Well, I like working here because I like to be outdoors in the summer, and I like to be around people. And this job, you run into all kinds of people from all over the world that come here and play, so it just kind of keeps me going and keeps me young, I think. I believe from the golf course point of view, this is probably one of the prettiest and nicest courses you can play in New England. People who have never been to Vermont comment about how pretty it is and never really knew what was in Vermont from the standpoint of beauty of the terrain. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think the golf course is one of the nicest courses in New England. It's rated very high. It's a municipal course, so it's owned by the town of Killington. But people who play here have related this course to some of the best courses in the country. I think we're rated like number 5 in New England as a municipal course, and we're in the top 5 in the state of Vermont. So it's a top course in my mind. Of course, I'm biased, but I love playing here as much as everybody else. Our clientele, I think, is probably more tourists. Membership-wise, we don't have a lot of members compared to a lot of other clubs. We have people that come here from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and that's probably a pretty fair percentage of our business is people from out of state. And we have a lot of groups that come, and people who have played here tend to come back. Some groups have been coming here for over 20 years.
Up next, General Manager David Bowyer returns to give us a detailed look at some of his favorite holes at Green Mountain National. And we take an aerial view of the front 9 when Golf Destination, presented by Goslings of Bermuda, continues.
Golf Destination is brought to you in part by Goslings of Bermuda. Dare to be happy. Club Benchmarking, your partner on the path to data-driven leadership.
Dare to smile and laugh out loud, to go to the beach instead of the office, to wear sneakers instead of heels, or heels instead of sneakers, to wear white after Labor Day and sunglasses at night. Dare to say no or yes, to take a long bath or a short walk, to have dessert for dinner or to grill in the snow. Dare to have fun, and most of all, dare to be happy. Goslings Rep. Happy since 1806.
Club Benchmarking Capital Reserve Study arms you with a precise chronological roadmap of capital requirements and associated costs. Our process includes a thorough financial analysis, in-depth staff interviews, and an on-site inspection to evaluate, document, and prioritize your club's capital repair and replacement requirements over a rolling 20-year timeline. Club Benchmarking, your partner on the path to data-driven leadership.
When you support the Weemet Fund, you're not only supporting kids who have dreams and desires to obtain a higher education, but also kids who have these core values of golf instilled in them in such a way that it'll allow them to succeed.
It's changed my life. It's given me opportunity. I've grown so much as a person.
I feel like I have a sense of freedom once I leave school that if I wasn't part of the Weemet Fund, I wouldn't be able to have.
Golf Destination is brought to you in part by Goslings of Bermuda. Dare to be happy.
Welcome back to Golf Destination. I'm Meredith Gorman here at the Sociable DGI Communications Studios. Green Mountain National Golf Course's David Bowyer returns to tell us some of his favorite golf holes at the course.
For me, my two favorite holes on the front nine, hole number 2, a blind tee shot, second shot over water. You can generally hit a couple of 100 yards, or you don't even need to hit a driver off that tee. And then you've got anything from a mid-iron to a short iron into a very well protected green over our pond, which we draw most of our irrigation from. Hole number 7 is a downhill par 3. Plays about 150 to 160 yards. There is a water hazard in front of a fairly large bunker, and then a green that slopes quite substantially from back to front with a ridge in the middle. And that's a common sort of thing you'll see here at Green Mountain, is that those undulating greens, we call them upside down potato chips. That's, or depending on which way you're looking at your potato chip, that is. Back nine is again a little different animal, and I would say my two favorite and most challenging holes on the back nine is probably hole number 10 and hole number 18. Hole number 10, I think, it's a downhill tee shot, probably drops anywhere from 70 to 80 feet, so it's quite a substantial elevation drop there. And then you're shooting back up almost 30 to 40 feet back up a hill to quite a small green for such a long hole. That's a challenging hole, and it's certainly very picturesque. 18 I like because it's a challenging hole right at the end of the round. Again, there's a little water, a little rock formation right in front of the green there to a well-protected green with a pretty substantial greenside bunker right in front.
Let's take a look at the front side of Green Mountain National Golf Course. You start your round at Green Mountain National Golf Course with a par 5 that is right in front of you. This par 5 can be stretched to over 510 yards, so long hitters may be two-putting for birdie. A decent-sized bunker protects the green. 2 is a demanding par 4 that requires you to make good shots. Your tee shot is downhill to a large landing area. You may want to leave the driver in the bag. Your approach is over water to a green that is nestled into the rolling topography. Bunkers protect the left and right side, while the water takes care of the front. The 3rd is a par 4 that has ample room off the tee. Water bisects the fairway, but it really doesn't come into play. The green is very receptive to well-hit wedge shots. The 4th hole is a beautiful golf hole that just plays out in front of you when you stand on the tee. It is a par 4 over 400 yards, so accuracy off of the tee is a must. The green is well protected with 3 large bunkers. It's beautifully framed by tall pines. The 5th is your first par 3 on the front nine, and it offers a lot of character. It can be tipped out to over 180 yards. Deep bunkers protect the right and left of the green. If the 6th hole had a name, it should be options. This reachable par 5 has 2 ways to play it. A person with a well-positioned drive can hit it either down the left side to a fairway or play it down the right side to another fairway. We suggest the right side as you have a better look at the green and it gives you options. The 7th is a fantastic downhill par 3 cut out of the terrain. This should be a mid or short iron to a smallish green. A frontside bunker collects miss-hit shots. The 8th is an uphill par 4 that plays longer than the 360 yards indicate. There is generous room off the tee. The green is surrounded with sand, so choose the right club for your approach. The green has many good pin placements. The 9th is a par 4 well over 400 yards. Thankfully, it plays slightly downhill so you can get more roll. The green is large and it is also wide open in front so you can run it up to the pin. The front 9 is a wonderful test and cut beautifully into the land. Still ahead, we tour the back 9 at Green Mountain National Golf Course and we take a look at one of the many covered bridges of Vermont when Golf Destination, presented by Goslings of Bermuda, continues.
Club Benchmarking Capital Reserve Study arms you with a precise chronological roadmap of capital requirements and associated costs. Our process includes a thorough financial analysis, in-depth staff interviews, and an on-site inspection to evaluate, document, and prioritize your club's capital repair and replacement requirements over a rolling 20-year timeline. Club Benchmarking, your partner on the path to data-driven leadership. It's about more than boating. It's about the boating lifestyle. From the distinguished yachtsman to the day sailor and cruising family. Join hosts Sierra Goodwill and John Methia for The Drift. It's new adventures and places to explore. It's the latest gadgets, newest technology, and safety tips you'll use. It's The Drift, and it's about the best in boating. Brought to you by Boat US. Get the drift?
Dare to smile and laugh out loud, to go to the beach instead of the office, to wear sneakers instead of heels, or heels instead of sneakers, to wear white after Labor Day and sunglasses at night. Dare to say no or yes, to take a long bath or a short walk, to have dessert for dinner or to grill in the snow. Dare to have fun, and most of all, dare to be happy. Goslings Rep, happy since 1806.
Club Benchmarking, your partner on the path to data-driven leadership.
Now let's take a look at the back 9 at Green Mountain National Golf Course. You tee it up on the back 9 at Green Mountain National Golf Course and you immediately understand what the back 9 is about: ball placement. The bunker on the right side is reachable, so choose your distances wisely. Your approach is to a good-sized green that is uphill, so take one club more. The 11th has danger everywhere. Bunkers on the left side and a stream that is reachable running through the fairway. An iron or utility club for placement might be the play. Your approach shot is again uphill. The bunker is 20 paces from the green. The 12th is a dogleg left par 4 that features rock outcroppings that define the Vermont landscape. Land your tee shot at the corner and you will have about 125 yards to a long green that is protected by a bunker. There are 3 tiers to this green. The 13th is a thrill hole of a par 3 and it is all downhill. Proper club selection is key here. Depending on the wind, it can play 1 to 2 clubs less. Favor the left side of the green. The 14th is another dogleg left par 4. You will have a little flip wedge in, mishit it, and you'll be in a hazard. Take the safe route down the right side, and par will be almost certain. The 15th requires you to shape your tee shot again, this time left to right. This par 5 is a dramatic dogleg, but it is just begging you to make birdie at only 450 yards. Don't hit it through the fairway, or you have lost a golden opportunity to lower your score. The 16th is the prettiest on the course, and it offers great views of the Vermont countryside. This downhill par 4 requires you to just put it in the fairway. You will then have an approach with a green on the smaller side at Green Mountain National, with a bunker in front and one awaiting shots that are long. The 17th is a handsome par 3. This slightly downhill par 3 can play over 200 yards. A small stream will collect shots that are short, while a bunker protects the left side. The 18th hole is a slight dogleg left par 4 that will test your course management. The landing area is somewhat narrow, so take your most trusted club on tee. It plays downhill, so you will get a little more roll. There's trouble on the way to the green, but it shouldn't be a problem if your club selection is correct. A deep front bunker protects the green. The state of Vermont boasts over 100 covered bridges and is home to the most covered bridges per capita in the United States. Our crew stopped at the Taffsville Covered Bridge in Woodstock, Vermont. This timber-framed bridge crosses the Ottawaquechee River, and it was designed by Solomon Emmons III and opened in 1836. The bridge exhibits no influence of patented bridge design. It reflects an earlier craftsman bridge building tradition, possibly influenced by designs found in Switzerland. Its total length is 189 feet, and it is 20 feet wide, allowing one vehicle to pass at a time. It is among one of the oldest remaining covered bridges in Vermont, and thus the United States. Coming up, we get the vital statistics from Green Mountain National Golf Course, and we meet veteran golf writer Jim McCabe and learn about powerfades.com when Golf Destination, presented by Goslings of Bermuda, continues.
Golf Destination is brought to you in part by Goslings of Bermuda. Dare to be happy.
Welcome back to Golf Destination, presented by Goslings of Bermuda. I'm Meredith Gorman from the sociable DJI Communication Studios just outside of Boston. Jim McCabe has worked for the Boston Globe, Golf Week, and the PGA Tour, and he has covered every major golfing event you can think of.
I was blessed. I was blessed to work at the Boston Globe and be passionate about golf at a time when golf was, a new era of golf was taking hold. And a gentleman named Tiger Woods came to New England in 1992. The U.S. Junior Amateur Wallaston, not a lot of people paid attention to it. And I was like, this kid's good, let's go watch him play. Okay, they looked at me and they said, well, do you want to cover more golf? And the answer was yes, emphatically yes. I always loved to write, and golf was what I had a passion for. I stayed at the Globe till end of 2008, got a chance to go to Golf Week. That was a small little company, small little shop. Covered every major from like 1990, started in 1990s, and then I covered every single one up until I joined the PGA Tour. Thought I was going to retire, but I decided no, I kind of love this too much, so I reinvented myself. I put out a weekly newsletter, I call it Power Fades, and basically it's kind of emptying the notebook that I used to keep people's names, people that I always respected, liked, thought they had good stories. I have a passion for golf, and I know other people do. And there are a lot of people I've written about who may not still be passionate about playing golf. They're still passionate about what golf has meant to their life.
Here are the vital statistics for Green Mountain National Golf Course. The Black Tees play at 6,589 yards with a course rating of 72.1 and a slope of 138. The Blue Tees play at 6,176 yards with a course rating of 70.2 and a slope of 133. The White Tees check in at 5,787 yards with a course rating of 68.7 and a slope of 128. The Yellow Tees are at just over 5,100 yards, while the Red Tees are at 4,740. Well, thank you for joining us as we toured one of the best courses you can play in Vermont, Green Mountain National. We hope you enjoyed today's show, and if you want more information, visit our online hub at golfdestination.tv. It has all of our social media channels and broadcast schedule. Once again, I'm Meredith Gorman. Thanks for joining us.